going on, guys? Back here in my basement, and I'm continuing on this series of dyeing and showing you guys different techniques. This one is hot dipping slash just liquid dipping, because it's going to be hot dip at first, but I'll leave it for a while. This disc is special because it's actually the one that I'm doing the giveaway on. So I've got this thing stenciled up. I'll show you that in a different video, just because I'm focusing on the hot dip itself, not the stencil and all. But let's get a little sneak peek close up of what the stencil is gonna be. I'm gonna do more to this disc, but that's the main image. I chose this for one. It's a logo I've been using for the local disc golf here in Southwest Virginia. Just around here, Bigfoots, or we called wood boogers around here now, are pretty big. So figured that'd be cool. That's something I did a while back for a shirt. So for one, you're gonna need your disc. That's your hot dipping. Then of course the Idye poly. And I always recommend keep your dyes in this bag. For one, it keeps the moisture out, and then it also keeps this dye in, because it's a powder. So if you get this Idye poly, it's a powder. If it gets out of its bag at all, you won't see it until you drop liquid on it, and then you'll be like, I've got black random stuff popping up, or red, or just, the funny thing with black is it's a bunch of colors all mixed together to make it. So if you drop a dot of water on a little bit of black, you'll see like yellow, red, blue, and stuff start turning up. So it's pretty cool in shaving cream, I'll tell you that. Next, I'll need some container with just your water and your Idye mixed. I don't have a percentage ratio. I put the powder in to when it gets whatever color I think it should be. Hot dipping, of course, it needs to be hot. I went and pre-warmed this up. I like recommending people using these big mason jars. For one, you can heat them because they're glass. I don't hot dip on the stove. I know some people do. I just know I would get kicked out quicker if I did that. So I just take these mason jars and I heat them up a little bit at a time in the microwave. It's not crazy hot. So last thing you're going to need, a sort of deep dish, something that you can put your disc in face down to sit in this dye. So you got to be kind of conscious of how much you're putting in your plate. I hope you can see this. And that should be plenty. The great thing about these mason jars too is once you've actually heated the dye up, you put the lid back on, it seals itself. So if it gets knocked over or something like that, it shouldn't spill. Another quick tip with this hot dipping, you can see all these bubbles and stuff floating around. You need to let this sit for just a couple minutes or something and let these bubbles kind of pop on themselves. If you don't, and you put your disc down and you don't come back to check it, you're gonna have bubbles inside your area that you intended to get dyed that are just going to be the disc color, because these bubbles don't go away once it comes in contact with the disc. It just forms to the disc. So I let it sit and I blow with my mouth on these and try to get them to pop and stuff. The other thing you do, once you put your disc down, usually like a 10-minute time period, you come back, pull it out, and you look and you'll see if there's been any bubbles. And usually by then too, the liquid's really just calmed down and flat. You don't have this bubble stuff on there. So you'll tell that it might have taken to the disc a little bit, but you'll see those bubbles. As long as you take care of that early, you won't have to worry about it showing back up. You put this back in, and I usually don't sit flat. I kind of go in at an angle, because on white discs you can kind of see through them and you can tell if there's bubbles sometimes forming. So if you do that down, you kind of push the liquid along the face of the disc. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes and then we'll come back and stick this in. Alright, so I think I've got this settled enough to where we can go ahead and do our first little dip in. You can see it's mostly just flat die. Hopefully you can see that. Lay in, don't really see anything, maybe some micro bubbles. So you need to make sure you get a good grip somewhere on the inside of the rim and just kind of pull so you can hold it like this. And what you just want to do is just try to get this in contact with the liquid without disturbing the surface too much so you don't make any bubbles. Alright, so that's floating there on top. Side note, I've got this vinyl really close to the edge of this back side right here. Generally, you want that to be folded way over here so no dye accidentally splashes up on the back of this rim. That was just me messing around with this vinyl I've got here and didn't make it big enough. So as long as I am not messy with this, I can avoid it. You want it floating on top of the water or the dye. You don't want this submerged because again it's going to come over and go to the back of the disc, and I don't want the back of the disc covered. If you want to change the color of a disc completely, like if you got a white one and you say you want to turn that thing red, you can take this method here. It doesn't even have to be like a hot dip, it can just be regular water and dye mix. You can completely submerge that disc and leave it for a day or two. Pull it out, it's gonna be red, but that's what it's gonna do. I've done that before. I did it to a clear Prodigy disc. Gosh, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe, I can't remember. But it was just clear, and I wanted to make a Batman disc and ended up failing at it, but I did succeed in changing the disc to a yellow color. So that's if you ever want to change the color of a clear disc, do that. But I'm gonna leave this sitting for 10 minutes, then I'll come back, check back with you and show you if there's been any bubbles I saw or not. And then after that, it'll be a waiting game. Let's check back. Alright, so we're back. Not been quite 10 minutes, I'd say maybe around 6 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. You can usually tell in that time frame. And be careful not to get this back edge. Really hard to tell. Maybe I had one or two. I'll try to get really close to the camera. If you can tell at all. Just some spots that were white. I can't tell if those were actually bubbles or just the dye running off, but usually it'll be a bubble on the disc, so blowing on it can help get those off. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this back in. Alright, so time frame on this kind of just varies to when I'm going to check back in on it really, but I tend to really want to leave these at least 12 hours. Good saturation, probably 24 hours. I know some people that do legitimate hot dips where they've got the water really hot, can get stuff to set in a few hours. But for me, I'm just heating it. It's not crazy hot dye. It's just pretty hot or warm, and I think it just helps the dye take better. But I'll let it sit for at least 24 hours. I'm gonna let this sit, and I might, who knows, might check on it tomorrow. It might be another day till then, but just giving it that amount of time allows the dye to saturate really well. So, I mean, for now, that's all I've got. We'll check back and see what this looks like here in a day or two, and then I'll show you the peeling process and everything after that, which is pretty simple. But check back with me. I mean, if you watch the video, you will anyways, because it'll be right now. Alright guys, I'm here back to check on this disc. It's been roughly a little bit over 24 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and check it anyways. I know I said I might wait longer than that, but I just figured I'd go ahead and give it a look and see if it's dyeing good. There's always options just to put it back if I want some more deep color to it, but hopefully it'll look pretty good, and hopefully we don't have any bubbles or anything on there. But let's pull it out the ink or dye and see what it is. I print t-shirts, so ink's usually on my mind. So let's drip off. I know it probably is common sense, but pushing or pulling against those rims really lets you hold it. Yeah. This thing hasn't really taken much dye. I'm probably going to have to put it back. You can see it's kind of dirty looking. It's dyed, but it is not a solid color by any means. So I'm going to wash this, but keep the stencil on. I'm going to go wash it, put some detergent on it, and just try to wash it off. And I'm going to throw it back in this dye and see if we can get some more color onto it. There you go. Fail. Probably the first time I've ever seen this happen, and the first time I've recorded trying to show you how to do it. So it happens. But when you're dyeing a disc, you gotta learn to go with the flow, because plastic is going to be plastic, and it's going to do what it wants to do and take dye how it wants to dye, and you can't really control that well. So check back with me. I'm going to wash it off, throw it back in, and we'll check back in another day. I'm going to leave it for another 12 hours or 24 hours or so. See if we can get some more dye packed in there. Alright, so I went in there and I took dish detergent and I lightly cleaned the disc off where everything, all the dye was, and lightly because I didn't want to scrub too hard and maybe take any vinyl off, and I've not touched this image. One thing I can tell you, every now and then you might experience, it hasn't happened to me many times, is if there's been a disc that's been touched a lot or something, the oils from your fingers and your hands can get on there, and it can kind of mess with how dye takes to the disc. So usually wiping a disc down with dish detergent, clean it off, rinse it off, and pat it dry with like a towel or something like that, can help. Dish detergent and the degreaser for that reason, not just hand soap. I mean, you could use it, probably work some, but degreaser will get that oil off from your hands and stuff. So we're going to try this again. I swirled the dye up here, try to stir it back up and get it back, but we'll just place it back in and check back. Hopefully this thing takes the dye. Alright guys, I'm back again. This time, this has been 48 hours since I put this in the dye. We did the last check-in, and where the dye hadn't taken to the disc, I'm hoping we're getting some saturation on this. We're gonna see. Cross them fingers on your video, because I've not had one dye like this in a while, so I'm glad I chose this to do my video with. So, moment of truth. Maybe I can see if I can put a drum roll in here and see if I can get it. I don't even want to look at it. much better than it was. Much better. I think there's still a couple of spots that I can see. Yeah, like down near his legs and the bottom part of the basket's a little rough, but see if I can get this dabbed off a little. As you can tell, much more saturated, although right there didn't get much dye saturation, and the basket part as well, right in the same area. Could be something with the disc. Just note, whenever you start doing this stuff, if you're going to try this dye, please wash your discs with dishwashing soap beforehand. Alright, I think I've got all the vinyl peeled off of this. So here we are. Like I said, I'm leaving the vinyl on the eyes and the teeth until I get done with this disc, so they'll be pure white. Whenever I get done, I'll get close so you can see them. So yeah, you can see. Oh, right there, you can see that vinyl that's still on his face, but it got pretty good saturation. Like I said, there's the knee area and stuff, but all in all, it did good. Wish I would have thought to clean the disc very good first, but so there you have it. That's step one in getting this disc dyed for the giveaway. I'm going to put a link to the video that I originally posted for this giveaway, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend that to this video as well. So you need to subscribe to my channel, and you need to at least comment on this video. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as I've got a comment here. You can comment videos you want to see, dye techniques you want to see, and I mean, as long as it says something, don't cuss at me or something, just be nice. But I get a comment from you and a subscription, and you'll be in the contest to win this disc once it's dyed. And that contest will be ending whenever I get to 100 subscribers. I'm over halfway there now, so share these videos, share my channel to your friends, share them to you, not to your friends. I don't care who you share it to, as long as people start seeing it. And we'll get this dye into one of your hands, and we'll be on the road to my next giveaway, which is an autographed Chris Dickerson FX2 from Prodigy. Beautiful disc, and it throws really nice. So yeah, like I said, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. You can go to my other one and comment, but get my videos out there and get me to 100, guys. Thanks for watching.